Hey everyone, it's been a few days since we finished our winter retreat. For those of you that came along, I've been thinking of you all. I hope you've had a beautiful, smooth few days of integration. It can be challenging, the integration process after these big transformative retreats. It took me, and I'm still refining the process, to be honest, but it took me quite a few years to really take care and respect in the integration process. Sometimes we need at least a day or two of keeping things as simple as possible to integrate well. Not required for everyone, but I know for me, I need a couple days to just move very slowly for it to really sink in. And again, for a long time, I didn't. I'd come home exhausted, but content, on a high, but also pretty tanked, and would consolidate with too much caffeine, too many stimulants, and would just go, and I would pay the price later. So I hope you've all had a smooth re-entry, integration, and it's really sinking into your bones and into your everyday life. Been hearing some incredible feedback from some of you of how life-changing these retreats have been, and I know some of you've come to all of them, and it continues to feed you and elevate your life and help you in everyday life, and that is beautiful. Some of you also, it's your first time ever, and quite incredible feedback of how life-changing the experience was, and you're already feeling it in your life take fruition. We can continue that fruition, that integration through everyday practices, little practices, mindfulness, care, attention, intention, prayer. And this is what we're going to be exploring in depth next Sunday, Sunday 23rd of August at Shivananda Ashram in Beaconsfield. I'll be teaching a long-form class. Could call it a workshop, but it's not really a workshop. It's a class, but long-form, a lot of discussion, a lot of contemplation. We will be practicing. We will be doing certain kriyas, certain cleansing techniques, incorporating a lot of sound, a little bit of movement, but a lot of meditation to really help us. The theme is the yoga of ordinary life. So that's happening in just over a week, next Sunday, 23rd. Still some spaces left if you're feeling the call. The emphasis is really drawing upon these tantric practices that help us access the yoga in all kinds of situations. All kinds of situations, from when we're dealing with grief to when we're in just a mundane situation like doing the laundry, doing the dishes, on the toilet, in the shower. These everyday activities we do, we can bring attention to, yogic attention, and make it extraordinary. These everyday kind of ordinary situations. It's very common for the yogi, for the seeker, to push these ordinary situations away, seeking a more sexy kind of moment, right? And then we end up with literally a messy ass bedroom, messy kitchen, a messy house, messy garden, messy relationships. Check that out. It's worth looking at. Do we keep running away from the messiness of life, seeking altered states, something else out of our body, out of our life. It is completely natural, I think innocent, for us to crave altered states and mystical states of consciousness. No doubt, for sure. It is our birthright. We should be able to explore our consciousness in whatever way we are drawn to. But then whatever goes up must come down. So then how do we bring that awareness, that bliss, really, Sat, Chit, Ananda, into everyday tasks? We can. This is one of the key points of Agnihotra ceremony, of japa, meditation. Yeah, why you see these yogis walking around with the mala beads. It's to bring that into walking with gratitude, walking with love, walking with prayer, cooking with love, cooking with gratitude. Right? So maybe start it now if you haven't yet. Grab your mala beads, and rather than them just hanging around you as a pretty piece of jewelry, put them to practice. Everyday life, everyday moments. And one thing that just popped into my mind is one of the highlights of our retreat. Of course, the classes had beautiful experiences during Malika's class, Cam's class, Joe's classes. Beautiful moments in Agnihotra and meditation, breath work by the river, then jumping in the water and laughing, and delicious, beautiful, incredible moments throughout the whole retreat. But I gotta say, the biggest highlight for me was witnessing the kindness flowing through the group, helping each other out. Acts of kindness. I was about to say random acts of kindness, but they weren't random. They weren't random. Or maybe they were. Kindness. And a kind of natural flow of kindness that wasn't craving acknowledgement, gratitude, recognition, just being kind for love's sake, for the sake of being kind. Natural flow. This is the yoga of ordinary life. The amount of times I've witnessed either myself or other fellow yogis, teachers I deeply respect, where we're teaching virtuous things, we're teaching beautiful yogic philosophy, but then being an asshole in everyday life. Redemption is, of course, available. We're all just human, of course, It's a good teaching of not putting our teachers and fellow yogis up on a pedestal. We're all just human, right? And letting it be constant humbling and inspiration of illuminating our blind spots and our shadow parts, bringing love there, bringing kindness there. Where do we fall asleep? Are we just nice and kind in the yoga room, and then are we an asshole at home? Worth checking out. I have those days for sure. All sweet and kind to my students and everyone, and then a little bit sloppy, a little bit mean at home. Try my best not to be, but I try to be aware as possible if I have fallen into that trap, and wake that shit up and bring more love into that moment. There are legitimate tantric tools to work with that self-sabotaging part of our mind, that inner little scallywag that always screws with the beauty of life, and it's always looking for chaos and problems. If everything's all good, it loves to create melodrama. It loves to create melodrama. We can bring this Sat, Chit, Ananda, consciousness, bliss into everyday life. How are your relationships? How is your relationship to your body? Are you feeling in love within your own body, in peace? This is what we want to check out, because when we've illuminated and awakened the central channel, the core of our being, and shined the light with tantric awareness, with discernment, we can connect the dots in such a way where, as Ram Dass would say, our earth school curriculum, we can rise to the occasion, and these little tests can keep waking us up. Yeah? Not that we want to subscribe to life being a big old achievement model, as Ram Dass would also say, but we can examine these little tests in everyday life to see how we're doing. There's no judgment. It's just like, why not? Why not? Every day could potentially be our last day. We never know when it's going to be our last breath. So we might as well cultivate the awareness to have an incredible day. Yeah? So the yoga of ordinary life is not the yoga of mediocrity. It's actually the extraordinary ordinary. Can we make everyday kind of seemingly mundane situations beautiful? Because if it was our last day, we would make it beautiful. We would. We'd cherish it. These little moments, that we tend to take for granted. Preoccupied with, the weekend, our next holiday, grass is greener on the other side type mentality. When I get that next thing, when I get that next lover, whatever it is, fill in the blank. Not like right here, you are it, this is it, let's do it. So I know I was speaking a lot to the people that came on retreat, and yes, I was, and I am. Much love to you all, but this is extended to everyone and anyone. For the retreat, some of you missed out. It was full to capacity, but next time we can probably fit a few more in. But you snooze, you lose. If you missed out on this one, get in sooner for the next one. People flew in from different parts of the country. By all means, it's a unique offering. It's worth flying in internationally for this one. It's a unique offering. And I say that kind of zooming out, kind of from an objective perspective, and just hearing a feedback from people that did fly in from across the country and so forth. They're like, this was something else. So come and join us next time. It'll be an honor. Yes, it's a whole year away, but a year goes quick. Not looking forward to it too much. Be here. But, put it in your diary. We'll send out dates soon once we've locked it in. And yeah, it's such an honor. Always. Such a blessing. Such an honor. Come and join me tomorrow, Center Space, 8 till 9:30. And then next Sunday, 23rd at Shivananda Ashram. Much love, everyone.